You did.
I have been listening.
You're gonna be more YouTube famous than me and Tim.
I wasn't afraid at all.
No, it's cool.
Look at you
It's
guys.
cool. Come on. All right. So you're gonna hold the saw right here, and you can let it rest. You can let it rest up against your body right here too, or whatever. You know, you don't hold it out. And just a good square stance. You know, like how you're getting ready in softball. You know, knees bent a little bit and everything, and just grip it. You ain't got to just grip it with a death grip. Just a good grip. You don't want to grip the saw with the thumb on top either. That way, if it happens to kick, which it's not going to right here because we're in a control situation, but if it was to happen to kick and you've got it gripped up here like this, it can't kick it out of your hand. So just keep it like that right there. And then this is your trigger. So when you grip, the trigger won't mash on it till you hit this right there. Once you hit that, then it does that. So you just grip it right there and right there, and you just put it and you give it a little throttle. Because it's gonna be different for you when you first start. So you're just gonna give it a little throttle, and then once it starts cutting, then you can hold it wide open. You can, and these are your dogs right here. So you can actually, once it starts cutting, you can catch it with them dogs right there. Once it starts cutting, and you can rotate the saw, or you can just hold the saw right here and just, you can put light pressure. You can hear how the saw is running. You want to kind of feed some pressure to it, but not too much. You want it to stay up on the RPMs, and you can just let the saw just kind of float down through there. Or you can catch it with the dogs and rotate the saw, and then bring it back and then come on down like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut cookies like this right here, and we're just going to cut several of them, and then I'm going to have you bore some too. And to bore, you pretend like this tip of this bar is in quarters. That's a quarter, and that's a quarter, and this is your halfway point. When you start to bore, as long as you stay in this bottom quarter, you're fine. You don't want to get in this top quarter. If you get in this top quarter and you touch it like that, that's when you're going to get kickback.
Okay.
And the saw kicks back, then the chain brake takes over, the inertia takes over on the chain brake, and it slams that brake down, and it locks that chain so that as it kicks back at you, it stops that chain from spinning. But we're not going to have any of that. So what you do when you go to bore, you start it with that bottom quarter right there, just like that. You touch it with the RPMs up on it, you touch it like that, and as soon as it starts sinking in, then you can rotate the saw up and push it through like that right there. So I'm going to crank the saw for you this first time. You got your ear muffs on. All right, so we're good to go. Let me get mine on here. So you should be able to hear me. Can you hear me? You can't? Hang on. There we go. You can hear me now and everything. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to crank it up for you. And I'm going to be standing right here with you.
So at this point right here, I'm Instagramming. I am not concerned about her and worried about whether she's going to do something wrong or not. I've already laid down the groundwork. She knows what to do. I don't have to tell her no more. Just roll. Just let that saw eat. Let's make some wood chips there, Miss Kandi.
What you think?
I was so excited.
You did good, babe. You did.
I have been listening.
You're gonna be more YouTube famous than me and Tim.
I wasn't afraid at all.
No, it's
baby.
cool.
Look at you
It's
go.
cool. Ain't nothing to it.
No.
I mean,
I got
I mean,
your
it
first
ain't
haircut
nothing to it. I
ever
mean,
on
you've
camera.
got
He did too.
you've got so many people that are just they're terrified of the tips of the bar, and I mean, you've never run a saw and you
No.
run a tip in there, and that's all it amounts to is listening to the instruction and then executing on what you're being told to do. And that saw right there is cutting, y'all. And you actually got pretty aggressive there at the end. You were hogging it in there at the end and everything and running it. That's when you were pulling those chips out like that right there and stuff.
I thought I was about to get stuck.
No, you ain't gonna get stuck like that right there. You were
Oh,
just,
okay.
well, you can hear the saw, and so like when you hear it starting to load like that and pulling, you know you're borderline on the pressure right there. So you can kind of keep that fine line. The saw is talking to you the whole time you're running it if you'll just listen to what it's telling you to do by the way it sounds. So is the sound of it, you can tell right where to push that saw as far as what you need to do with it, you know, and everything like that. So what I want you to do now is I actually want you to crank the saw
Okay.
and stuff. So anytime we crank a saw, we're always going to make sure the chain brake is on it. And the chain brake's on, that's off, that's on. So when you go to pop the brake off, your hand's in the way. It's not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to pull it back to get it to come off, probably because your hand's in the way. Just rotate your hand over to the side, rotate the saw over. You can, like I said, use your body to do it. So get up, keep your body up here, kind of like this right here too. For the other reason, if you're back like this, and say the saw does grab and it kicks. If you're like this distance right here, now saw's got time to get a lot of momentum to really hurt you. It's not gonna, it's gonna just kick you like getting kicked by a mule is what it's gonna do. It's gonna kick you when it comes back at you. Whereas if you're up here pretty close to it like this right here, it don't have as much room to get the momentum going to whack you pretty good. All right, so we're gonna up the ante just a little bit.
Okay.
About a pound heavier saw than the 550, it's not much. The biggest thing about this one is gonna be the bar. You're just gonna cut down. There's a good bit of power difference between the two saws, and you're gonna feel that when you run it right here or whatever. So remember, as you cut down through, these dogs right here are your friends. You see how I got them started and I touched them right there or whatever, and I help you rotate that saw around also. And you cut down, and you can watch the saw as you're cutting down. So what we'll do is we'll cut 2 or 3 cookies off of it right here, and then you can bore with this one too. It works the same way, exact same way. You stay on the bottom quadrant of the bar, and then you can bore in. And so I'll crank it for you, because this one is a little bit more difficult to crank.
That's a little heavier.
Yeah, it's a little heavier, ain't it?
I feel it in my forearms.
A lot more power though, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh,
But
Lord.
I understand now those dogs, is that what you call them?
Yeah.
That's your friend, isn't it?
That's right. That's your friend.